Hello, I'm Berta Karapetin from School Products Yarns in New York. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite method of knitting, Eastern European knitting. I want to show you how I do cast on and how I knit, how I purl, and how do I bind off and do all the full fashioning decreases and increases. Okay, let's start with the cast on. I think the cast on for Eastern European knitting is maybe similar to other ways of casting on, but we do it with two ends. Okay, so one is shorter and one is longer. How short? There is a formula, but don't worry about that right now. So we're just holding one end, which is approximately a yard long, and the yarn goes on my two fingers, and I hold it with the three other fingers. Okay, so the first movement, I turn it this way and I go with the needle under, and then I twist my hand, and then after that everything is extremely simple. I go under, over, in the loop, then I release my thumb, and with the same thumb I just pull the yarn. So under, over, in the loop, release and pull. Under, over, in the loop, pull. Under, over, in the loop, and pull. So watch me doing that, and that is, in my opinion, the best way of casting on, because it makes the edge very elasticy, and it gives you a good foundation for your knitting. So in Eastern European knitting, the biggest difference between Eastern European knitting and other types of knitting is that we go, when we do the knit stitch, we are taking the back loop of the stitch. But please pay attention how I hold the yarn. The yarn goes on my pointing finger, and then I secure it between those two fingers, and the rest goes in, is secured by the other fingers. But this is, everybody is doing that differently. It depends how convenient it is for you. But the yarn is held here. So I go in the back of the loop, and I have a little helper, and that middle finger always works as a little shuttle. It helps me to supply the yarn to the needle. So I go into the stitch and I grab the yarn, and it's done. In the stitch, grab the yarn, and it's done. So in this little shuttle, my middle finger always helps me, and the yarn is sitting over on my pointing finger, and that's quite simple. So by doing that knit stitch, it requires the purl stitch to be also different. It's like a marriage. Every stitch has the other partner. So this knitting, European knit stitch, has its own partner, and I'll show you what it is. Okay, then we turn the knitting, and now we're going to be doing the purl stitch. For the purl stitch, the yarn is held exactly like for the knitting on my point finger, and then this middle finger also works, and now my pointing finger works as a shuttle. So it pushes the yarn down, and I grab the yarn with a needle. That's all. See how simple, how little movements. So it's just down and through, down and through, down and through, down and through. So it's extremely simple. And my fingers always move to supply the yarn to the place they need to be supplied. But as I said, everybody is doing that slightly different. and that's totally fine, whatever way is convenient for you. Some people turn the yarn a few times on their finger to apply the pressure on the yarn, the tension, I mean. But for me, it's easier to do it this way. And also, I will show you how easy it is to bind off when you do my Eastern European way of knitting. So I am binding off by knitting two together, and then from from right needle I transfer it back to the left needle, knit them together, and then I transfer that stitch back to the left needle, knit two together, and I keep knitting two together, transferring stitch from right needle to the left needle, from right needle to the left needle. That's how we bind off.